good. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our third and final episode of the Ties That Bind BadgeQuest. This is our kind of conclusion of our foray into the system of BadgeQuest. We are excited for this third episode, and we have done some cookie selling over the last few weeks. When we pick back up tonight, it is about 2 weeks since the cat fiasco was resolved. We had a solid week, spring break week, as a matter of fact, of very lucrative cookie sales as the town was grateful for the intervention by our brave blossoms. And then another week of cookie sales. So before we get into today's action, why don't we go and do a cookie sale recap? Just let us know how many boxes of cookies your blossom has sold total. Josh, we'll start with Ember.
Total?
Total.
Since the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I have to do some quick math. Looks like about 150 boxes or so.
Solid. Ember killing it. Ember is the MVP. Presley, how many boxes has Amelia sold?
This is so cruel to make me go after Josh. Amelia has sold 18 boxes of cookies and she's very proud of herself.
She's doing a very good job. What about Piper?
She has sold 19. Yes.
Good. And how many boxes has Lydia sold?
34.
Awesome. So we are cooking away on these cookie box sales. And that will bring us to our action for today. So today is Monday, April the 6th. We are the first day back from spring break. You have a pretty average normal day at school, and you are prepared to go cookie selling on Monday afternoon. Where do you all go to sell cookies on this Monday afternoon?
Are we all together? I assume.
Likely, unless you want to be separate for some reason. Okay.
I mean, if all else fails, we could sell in Ember's neighborhood. I'm sure. Why not?
Okay. Cool. So you guys go about selling some cookies. You kind of go door to door. Ember lives in like a big sort of cookie cutter subdivision neighborhood, right? So, a lot of houses, there's like 4 different blueprints and they're just like replicated on these big long cul-de-sac streets. And you are doing pretty well selling some cookies this day until about halfway through your cookie selling time. You all have just left a house. You knocked on the door. No one answered. No one was home at this house. But you're on your way back down the driveway when you see 3 teenage boys on bikes roll up and slam the brakes directly in front of this driveway. What do you guys got?
Amber just sort of looks back at the others. She's not going to confront a bunch of teenage boys.
Lydia Lou will confront the group of teenage boys and say, "None of your business."
Are y'all selling those cookies?
Yeah, y'all got money to buy them?
Oh, we'll take some cookies. And the taller one, these boys look maybe 13, 14 years old. They're probably 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. The taller one sets his like puts the kickstand down on his bike. Ember, you recognize this boy. He lives in your neighborhood. He ride his like group of friends ride bikes all the time, and they do these like tricks, but they're constantly like getting in the way of like cars and stuff. Just kind of a real shithead. And Lydia, you recognize one of the other boys. This is a boy that lives in the trailer park. And so the one boy, the one that kind of seems like the leader, sort of puts the kickstand out and sets his bike up. Lydia, the boy that you know, just kind of throws his bike in the grass. And then there's another boy that's on a skateboard, and he kind of kicks the skateboard up and holds it. But the leader walks up to you and gets pretty close. And he says, yeah, we'll take about 10 boxes of cookies. And he kind of nods to the other two, and the other two come at you from the sides and go towards the wagon.
Ember perks right up. That's great. It'll just be $50.
They laugh in your face, and one of them reaches over and grabs like 2 boxes of cookies off the wagon.
I think Lydia is gonna, I mean, they're significantly taller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lydia's gonna go for like a peen punch.
Awesome. We will enter a scrap then. Go ahead and roll initiative. So as a reminder for initiative, you are gonna make a skill check. Where is it? I believe it's a TN5 skill check. TN6 skill check.
Okay.
I succeeded.
I did not.
Okay, we got 2 successes. That means y'all go for y'all have won these initiative rolls every single time. So you guys go first. So thinking, running, fighting. We'll start with the thinking phase. Who wants to act in the thinking phase?
I will.
Amelia's going to act in the thinking phase. Okay. And in the running phase? And in the fighting phase?
Yeah.
All right. So we will start with the thinking phase. Amelia, what do you do?
I think she's gonna like try to like put her body over the wagon where the boxes of cookies are to prevent them from getting more.
Okay. Yeah, make a TN6 toughness test.
Nar.
Okay. So that's going to be a failure. So you put your body over it. We'll see what effect that has, but you're just kind of like trying to hold on to the little boxes. And so at that point, the leader looks over at you all, and he just says, if you little kids know what's good for you, you'll get out of here. And that they're gonna say that directly at Lydia, because you're the one that's like closest to him. And so he'll say that to you. So you need to make a charm test, TN6.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a pass.
Okay, cool. So you pass. So that means you can ignore that request and continue to do what you want. So that'll be the thinking round, or the thinking phase. We will move on to the running phase, but nobody is running, so we will move on to the fighting phase. So the 3 of you act first. Who would like to go first? Actually, let's start with Lydia, because you went for the peen punch first off. So go ahead and give me a TN. Wow, my brain. Fighting phase, melee attack, TN6 toughness test.
Oh, okay, that's a pass.
Okay, cool. So you just deck him right in the crotch. And so he will definitely take that damage. And he kind of immediately kind of buckles in, and it definitely hurts him. Who wants to go next?
I mean, I'll go. I think Piper. I think she's got like these big, like hiking boots on. I think she's gonna pull one off and like chuck it at their face, one of their faces.
Okay, so you're gonna throw.
Mhm.
So you're just throwing a boot, though. I will, since you have the archery badge, I will let you decide whether you want to make it a toughness test or a skill test.
Let's go with skill because I think I get plus like an extra thing for that.
Okay.
What is it? What's the number?
TN6 skill. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, I guess it didn't really matter because I did get a 6. So yeah.
You did? Perfect. Yeah, so that will hit you. Which one are you throwing it at?
Whichever one's closest, I guess.
So they're all kind of within range. You can either throw it at the one that just got decked in the crotch, or you can throw it at one of the other boys. Up to you.
She's gonna throw at the one that got decked to the crotch. She's just gonna hurl it at him.
Okay, cool. So Lydia goes straight for the peen punch. He buckles, and as he buckles, you wing that shoe, and it hits him right in the forehead. And he is now. He lets out a big scream that definitely hurt. What does Ember do?
Ember turns into the Tasmanian devil and just starts screaming and clawing and scratching and biting and doing whatever she can to defend these cookies. It just goes crazy on this
So are you
guy.
going for one of the ones closer to the wagon?
She's going for the guy who was talking, the one in the whoever the leader looks like.
Oh, the one that's now been punched in the crotch and.
Oh, is that the same guy?
beamed in
Oh
the
no,
head?
she's gonna
Yeah.
go for one of them that's still standing. She's
Okay. So one of the other, it's the other two that went for the wagon. So
Okay.
you have skateboard or bike guy.
Skateboard guy.
Great. So go ahead and make me a TN6 toughness test to.
Okay.
To
I'm gonna roll my single toughness die here. We're gonna see how
Great.
this goes. I'm gonna take a picture because I got a 6.
Nice. Yeah. So you just like spider monkey jump at this guy and start like scratching at him, and he's like, "Whoa, what?" And definitely will take that point of damage. Now it's their turn. The skateboard guy is going to kind of, you're like on him, and so he's gonna grab you by the hair and try to pull you off. So go ahead and make a TN6 toughness test to defend.
No, sadly, not this time.
Okay, so he grabs, because you're like on him, and he just grabs you by the ponytail and yanks you off of him, and you go falling, and you're gonna take 1 point of toughness damage.
Oh, then I'm out.
Okay, so
Out.
as this happens, he grabs Ember by the hair and throws her to the ground. And you hit your elbow, and you get this big, like, concrete scrape up your elbow. And Ember just bursts into tears and starts crying. The other one is going to go for Amelia, because he wants those cookie boxes. And so he grabs you by the shirt and pulls you off. Go ahead and make a TN6 toughness test.
I did it.
You succeeded?
I got a 1 and a 6.
Okay. You got a 1 and a 6?
Yeah.
Okay. That's still a success. So you are good. He goes to grab you, and he does pull you off because you failed your roll to protect the cookies. He pulls you off, but when he pulls you backward, you are pretty agile as a dancer. And instead of falling like Ember does, you manage to catch your balance. And so you're still on your feet, but he is now grabbing these boxes of cookies. that will take us to the next round. At the start of the round, because there are two bullies that have not that are not at full hit points, because y'all have damaged them. So they are going to have to make a morale test, which means you all when this happens, the blossom with the highest charm score makes a charm test against the enemy's morale. The highest charm score would be Ember, but she is out. So, who has the highest charm score otherwise? I think it's Lydia at 2.
Okay, I've got 2.
Okay, so you're gonna make you're gonna make 2 of these because there's 2 of the bullies that are that have to make the morale test. So it is gonna be a TN4 charm test. 2 of them.
Okay, I got 1.
First one's for the leader.
And I got another. Okay, yeah. We're
You
good.
succeeded on both of those?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, so as you all have done this first action and everybody's kind of where they are. Ember's on the ground crying. The one that got just absolutely pummeled finally kind of is able to look up, and you see this teenage boy crying, tears in his eyes, and he just yells at you, "You stupid kids!" And he turns around and he grabs his bike and he goes to get on his bike, and as he sits down he like winces and then like has to stand back up and takes off. The one who had the skateboard that just threw Ember watches the other guy leave and then looks at you and then looks around and realizes that he just made a little girl cry and is like, "I'm out, man." And he takes off. He grabs his skateboard and goes off after the other leader. And at that point, our last guy is here and he's like, "What? Don't leave!" And he goes, grabs his bike, and takes off after them. And they have dropped all of the cookies that they stole. So you are not out any cookies. You have successfully defeated this pack of bullies. And yeah, but you all are left with Ember crying on the ground.
Is
What
there
would you
any
guys
sort
like
of
to do?
heal mechanic, or do you just have to wait it out?
You have to rest, and rest takes a good night's sleep, maybe a bubble bath, something like that. So what that means is essentially if you all can either call it for the night, and this is the option I'll give you. You guys decide what you want to do. You can either call it for the night, take Ember home, and finish your day, and then I'll let all 4 of you roll for a cookie check, but you'll only sell half as many cookies. So you'll roll your cookie check and divide by 2. That means because you only got to sell for about 2 hours. Alternatively, I will let you all can take Ember home, and then the other 3 of you can go out and finish your cookie day. But in that case, only the 3 of you will get to roll for cookie sales. Ember will not get a roll. So what would you like to do?
I think we call it a night.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So after that, the bullies roll off. Ember is crying. Her little elbow has a big, bloody concrete.
Ember is crying and she's of course very upset that they can't continue selling cookies. And she tries to convince all the other girls that they should go ahead without her and keep selling cookies because we got all these cookies that we got to sell, we got to win. But she's sniffling, and I think she's secretly happy that they didn't keep going and selling cookies. But she can't obviously admit that to anybody. So
I think Piper offers to like wrap Ember's elbow with like her sock because she doesn't have any first aid.
And Ember's like, "No, thanks. My house is right down here. We'll just go down there. Thanks though." And she's like, "You can put your socks back on."
She's walking around barefoot. She took her shoes off.
Okay.
So you all go back to Ember's, and Ember's your parents aren't expecting to pick you up for a while. So Ember's parents invite you all in, and make you like a little snack and some little juice boxes. And you guys can have a quiet little evening at home. Go ahead and make your cookie rolls and divide your number of successes by 2.
I can't even sell a cookie. I can't sell half a box of cookies.
Same. I can't sell anything. Yeah.
Even if I did
I s-
succeed, I only got 1 die.
I sold 3.
Thanks, Ember.
Okay, so 3 boxes for Ember and then 0 for everyone else. Okay. Yeah, so you sold a few boxes tonight, but you got rudely interrupted by some bullies. So that will be the end to Monday. On Tuesday, again, kind of a normal day at school. Nothing really crazy happens. And you oh no, that's what I meant to do. On Tuesday night, you know that there is a Tuesday nights are like a youth like soccer league in the park. April is soccer season, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, sure, great. We're gonna call it that. I know sports, you guys. So you all have decided to go. There's this like big park. It's kind of on the outer parts of town, near where the wooded area is, but there's like lots of soccer fields, and it's kind of bordered by the forest. And so you guys are planning to go out to the park on Tuesday to sell your cookies. And so you all get dropped off there, and we see a big wooded park. We see some soccer fields on one side, and then there's also like picnic tables and shelters and some like playground areas and some like big open field spaces. This is a really large park, not like a city park. This is like a suburban kind of out there park that's got lots of space. And we see the flowers in full bloom, a playground, children laughing, playing, running around, and you all are going about your business, selling your cookies. And an hour or so into the afternoon, Amelia, you see a familiar face. You see Emily Mayfield, who is a friend from your ballet class. She's also a member of the Brave Blossoms troupe that's a year below you all. Emily has a head of curly brown hair and is wearing brightly colored overalls as she eagerly catches a ball thrown by her grandmother. Mrs. Georgia Mayfield is a lovely woman with a gentle smile and warm eyes that crinkle at the corners when she laughs. Her graying hair is styled in a short bob, and she wears a colorful scarf wrapped around her neck. She exudes a sense of calm and contentment, as if she's at peace with the world around her. Despite her age, Georgia moves with a surprising lightness and agility as she plays with her granddaughter. She's dressed in comfortable clothes that allow her to move freely and a pair of well-worn sneakers. Georgia emanates an aura of love and kindness that seems to put everyone at ease. The two of them share a special bond, evident in the way that they look at each other with love and affection. And Amelia, you know that Emily lives with her grandma. Her mom's not around, but she is in your ballet class. She's in the Blossoms troupe that's a year below you, but she's in your ballet class. So you all know her. The others of you might recognize her from school, but she's not in your class, but the school's not very big, so you probably would recognize her from there. But Amelia, you're the one that knows her the most. And when she sees you, she waves at you. And she runs up to you and says, "Hi, Amelia.
Hi Emily.
What are you doing here?"
We're selling cookies.
"I love cookies."
Do you want to buy a box?
No, silly. I'm selling my own cookies.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Are you selling a lot of cookies? Are you going to beat us this year?
Hopefully. And she like smiles a little bit.
I bet you sold a lot of cookies, Amelia.
Amelia gets kind of nervous and like crosses her arms because she's so aware that she has sold the least amount of cookies.
And I don't know if Emily notices that or not, but she changes the subject and she remembers. She says, "Do you have Bunny with you? Can I say hi to him?"
Yeah, I always have him. And she'll take the backpack off and she like grabs Bunny. I wish I had a rabbit. She like grabs Bunny and like picks his little paw up and like waves.
And Emily waves and says, "I'll be right back." And she turns around and runs back to the like little picnic blanket where her grandma is now. And she grabs a little stuffed donkey and brings it over. And she holds it the same way that you're holding Bunny, and she makes it wave. Um, and she says, "Hey, I was wondering, I know that we don't usually get to like play on the playground at school together because like you're so much older than me because you're in the big kid class and I'm not a big kid yet. But do you think maybe if I bring Donkey tomorrow, can Donkey and Bunny maybe play on the playground tomorrow at school?"
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
And she smiles really big, and she looks back at her grandma and she like shakes her head yes. And she turns back to you and she says, "Okay, well, good luck selling your cookies. I hope you sell a whole lot."
Good luck to you too.
And
I'll see you
she
tomorrow.
"See you tomorrow." And she uses Donkey to wave back at you.
Bunny also waves back.
And then she turns around and she runs back to her grandma and she gives her this like big hug around her knees. And then they go back to playing catch. Um,
I would die for Emily.
um, so yeah, so that is anything else specific that you all want to do while you are here at the park selling cookies?
I want to have a conversation with Ember.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So a little bit, do you want this to be like a private conversation? Okay, so I think
Yeah.
at some point a little bit later in the afternoon, you all kind of split off because soccer practices are ending. And so two of you take one field and the other two take the other field to try to sell some cookies as people are leaving.
Hey Ember, can I talk to you real quick?
She looks over her shoulder. She's been a little bit in front, and she's like thumbing. She's counting her cash, and she looks back and she goes, yeah, sure. What's up?" And she sort of scratches at her elbow where it was hurt yesterday.
Are we not friends?
And she shrugs and she goes, "Yeah, I guess we're friends. We hang out all the time."
But I mean like real friends because my Nini DVR'd that news interview you did and you didn't mention me at all. And that's okay if we're not friends or anything, but I just feel like I did a lot for the group and I don't know, it hurt my feelings. So if we're not good, I just need to know if I need to watch my back, you know?
And Ember sort of looks at her and she goes, "Well, what did you do to help?"
I um I did a lot to help. I defended us. I got the bad guys to go away and I got the police to show up and I just feel like I did a lot and I
Oh,
guess I know where I stand with you.
well, I'll keep that in mind. I I don't know. My mom always says that people who live over there where you live don't really like dealing with the police. So I thought maybe that's why. Maybe that would be maybe you wouldn't want to talk to the news.
You mean because I live in a trailer park? Is that what you mean?
I guess. I mean, I guess so. I don't really know. I mean, I've never had a hard time at. I like your place, but that's just what mom says.
You always listen to your mama?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She
Okay.
keeps me She knows how she just knows what's best.
Well, Ember, you know what? Some of us don't got a mama, and she's gonna walk away.
Ember is going to be a little bit confused, but also she's going to feel really bad. And she's not going to know exactly why she feels so bad. And so she's just going to bottle that shit up real quick. She's just, okay, we got a job to do. And she's going to go sell some cookies.
All right, y'all can go ahead and make your cookie rolls for Tuesday night. No cookies for Amelia. Poor baby. No cookies for Piper either. Okay. One for Lydia.
And I got 2. I rolled 1 and doubled it. So
Only
I know
2.
that conversation needed to happen, but I like how we put the 2 people with the lowest charm together to sell cookies.
Yes.
It's-
All right.
Piper kicking rocks and Amelia playing with Bunny instead of selling cookies is what happened.
No, that's for sure what happened. So at the end of this night, y'all are like, you realize that you did not sell very many cookies. And so I think you guys decide to come back to the park tomorrow night to hit up these soccer teams again. So that'll be your plan. But before we get to Wednesday evening, we're going to have a little bit of time at school. So you get to school, and the first thing you notice when you get there is there's a police officer in the front office, and he's talking to the principal. And you know, you may or may not think anything about it. Sometimes police show up, maybe it's like career day or something. You know, the little kids think police officers are cool. But I don't know, there's just something kind of weird going on. Yeah, that was my cat. There's just something kind of weird about the vibe at school today. But your morning kind of passes normally. Class goes kind of how you expect. And then it is time for recess. So the bell rings and you all head out to the playground for recess. What would you like to do?
I'm
think
gonna go play
Ember's-
with Emily.
you go play with, yeah, there you go.
Okay. What is everybody else going to do during recess?
Ember is going to try to talk to Lydia and like follow her around a bit and just really try. Is Lydia going to let
I
her?
think if you do that, she's just gonna scream, "I thought you didn't want to hang out with trailer park people." And she's just gonna keep walking around screaming it. And then I think eventually she's gonna scream about how Amber doesn't know how to ride a bike. And we'll just keep just chanting it. Yep, she's done.
Is the police officer
She's,
around?
No, by this point the police officer is gone.
I think even so, Piper's like trying to Mission Impossible, like looking for him.
Okay, cool. So we see that, and then the camera swings back to Amelia. And Amelia, you are looking around the playground. Emily's not here. You can't find her. You don't see her on the playground.
Not Emily. If she's not there, then I'm probably gonna go sit on the bench where the teachers sit. That's like to watch the playground. I'm probably just gonna sit there holding Bunny,
Okay.
just waiting for Emily to show up.
Yeah, so you sit on the bench, and 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. Teacher blows the whistle. Recess is over. You never saw Emily.
Amelia probably cries. For the record. And then she'll just, I guess, put Bunny back in her backpack and go inside.
Okay. The rest of your day kind of goes on without anything. I need everyone to make me let's say a TN6. We'll say you can decide if you want to do charm or skill. They'll have different results, but
I succeeded in skill.
Okay.
I did not succeed in charm.
I got all 4s.
Okay.
I succeeded in skill.
Okay. So the two, Piper and Ember, y'all don't notice anything. Your day kind of goes on without a hitch. Amelia and Lydia, you notice with your skill, you notice as you're like walking through the hallways, you see teachers keep like stopping and like talking to each other and like whispering. And the look on their faces are strange, serious, maybe a little sad. Um, at a certain point in the afternoon, another teacher comes and knocks on the door to your classroom. Your teacher goes out, and then your teacher steps in the hallway and like closes the door and like kind of has it open just by a crack. And you hear them whispering. You can't quite make out any of the words, but all you hear is so sad as the teacher walks back in the room, and she's definitely, her mood is not changed. She's been kind of mellow or low energy all day. Like she's not been her normal like peppy self. There's a tension in the air that you two pick up specifically. But your day ends, and Randall comes to pick you all up to take you to the park to sell cookies. And he's pulls in, he's radio blaring super loud. And y'all get in the car and he drives you to the park. But when you get there, the park is closed. The gates are closed. You see in the parking lot 4 or 5 police cars, and there's a police officer standing at the front just kind of waving people on. And Randall says, well, I don't know, looks like the park's closed, so where y'all going?
Can I lean out the window and ask the cop what's going on?
Sure. Make a TN6 charm test for me.
Yes, success.
A success?
Mhm.
You lean out the window of this like junker of a car, and Randall is like, Ember, keep parking your like he's a little nervous about you talking to this police officer next to his car. And the police officer walks over and says, well, hey there, little lady. Look, I know you were probably real excited about playing in the park tonight, but the park is closed. It's just not safe right now, okay? Um, it's just closed. Y'all are gonna have to keep on going.
Ember's gonna have like big crocodile tears well up in her eyes, and she's gonna say, "But I wanted to sell just one more box of cookies."
Well, sweetie,
Her
you're not gonna be selling any
lips
cookies
are
here
trembling.
tonight because it's closed. There's nobody here.
Well, you're here.
I am here. That's true. And he'll pull his wallet out of his back pocket and he takes out a $5 bill and he'll hand it to you and he'll say, all right, 1 box of cookies. My wife is going to kill me. She said I needed to cut back on the sugar, but since y'all aren't
Thank
gonna
you,
get
officer.
settled here.
And her tone changes immediately. Like, okay, great.
And he'll take the cookie and he leans down and he looks at Randall, who's driving, and he says, hey, take these girls to the other side of town. There's some dangerous animals around here right now. And he kind of slaps the side of the car, sniffs a little bit, and kind of side eyes Randall, and then walks back to his post.
Ember says really loud, "It's okay. People from the trailer park love the cops." She just says that really loud as Randall starts to drive away.
I'm telling you now, the moment you say that, Lydia's gonna throw whatever is in the front seat and just whack it back in hopes that she hits you.
Go ahead and make a TN4 skill check.
I would love to. Okay, it was a fail. You're welcome.
So you toss it back, and it hits the back windshield. It just goes right over all of their heads. And Randall like elbows you. Quit
I'm so
throwing
glad
things.
it didn't hit one of us. I was so prepared. You'd be like, yeah, it misses Ember. It hits Amelia in the face. And I'm like, shit. Amelia's had hard enough of a day.
And Randall's like, look, I'm not driving all over this damn town, so y'all are gonna sell your cookies in the trailer park, and then y'all's parents can come pick you up because I'm not doing this. I'm not your freaking chauffeur. And he drives back to your neighborhood, Lydia, and y'all can go sell throughout the trailer park for tonight. Is there anything y'all want to do while you're selling cookies today? Okay, go ahead and make your cookie rolls then. 1 for Amelia, 0 for Piper, 4 for Ember, and 0 for Lydia. All right.
Piper's
Once
probably
it starts to
distracted
get
because she wants to see Lydia's dog. She's like, I gotta go see that dog.
fair.
see
Once
that
it starts to get
dog.
dark, your parents come and
that
pick you
dog.
guys up. And Lydia, you head back in to your trailer. And Nini's watching the local news. And she doesn't notice you come in, maybe she's asleep in her chair, maybe she just doesn't care that much. But when you walk back in, you see the news reporter is live from the park. And they're talking about some attack that happened last night, yesterday evening. They're not quite sure when, but it was probably late. There was no one else saw it. But you hear them say that a young girl was found dead in the park from an apparent animal attack. They think maybe a coyote or something. And they said that they're still investigating, trying to identify the girl, find family members, and they just asked for like news or tips if anybody had them. The one other thing that you hear them say is that near the girl's body, not on her, but near the girl's body, was a necklace that had a ceramic pendant. And they describe it as a round disc sculpted and painted to appear like a crescent moon. Intricate swirls and knots etched into its surface on a red background. And they flash a picture of this necklace, and it's on like a kind of like a braided cord string, and it's just this little ceramic pendant. And that's what it looks like. It's like a crescent moon on a red background, kind of like swirls and lines etched through it, pretty intricate. And they said if anybody recognizes this or has any information, to call the hotline. And yeah.
I think when she sees that, because she's not a kid that has a phone or anything, she's gonna draw the pendant, like draw it out with like crayons and markers and stuff.
Okay.
So she can show everybody at school tomorrow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. So as you're getting ready for bed, Nini tells you that she's got to do she's going to be selling tomorrow. So Randall's going to pick you up from school, and he's going to take y'all to your, to wherever you're going to sell your cookies at tomorrow night. But to expect Randall and not her, even though normally she picks you up, on Thursdays, but, that she is not going to be able to. It'll be Randall tomorrow. And yeah, so that is the end of the night. Um, yeah. Piper, your parents tell you and your brother that night that you all need to stay close to the RV, that you all can't wander quite as far as you used to, or that you usually do. She said that there's some like rabid dog or something in the area, that there are people are on the lookout for. They're like, we heard it on the news. We just want you to be safe. We want you to be able to roam. You got to roam free, but like you need to stay close to the home for now, because there's some dangerous animals out there right now. They're trying to catch them. Hopefully this isn't another one of them cat things that we had going on a couple weeks ago, but they do tell you to stay close to the RV and not to wander too far off. And Ember, you hear your parents arguing about whether or not to let you go sell cookies tomorrow. You hear your dad says, honey, we can't let her go out there without an adult or someone. Something could happen. And your mom goes, she's got to sell those cookies. Look, they got to win this thing this year. We can't lose again. So they're going to just have to be big kids and just go out and do it. They'll be fine. We'll just make sure that they're selling somewhere closer to the city center. And you hear that as you come out to say your good nights and give your good night kisses before you go to bed. And they kind of, as you come out, they kind of quiet down and stop arguing.
She is happy that she gets to go out and sell cookies. She's not. I mean, right now this doesn't immediately hit her, I guess, that this is really dangerous. I mean, you hear stuff on the news and stuff, and so yeah, she's glad that they're not making her stay home tomorrow. Gives everybody a big hug and a kiss.
Okay. And you all go to bed. Ember, you have healed your point of that happened yesterday. You're healed, by the way. In the morning, you all wake up, and Amelia, you wake up, and your mom is sitting on the end of your bed, and she puts her hand on your back, and she kind of rubs your back, and that's what wakes you up this morning.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, sweetie. Good morning. Listen, I need to tell you something that's gonna be sad. Okay? I got a call this morning from your dance teacher. Your friend Emily was hurt. Really bad.
Is she gonna be okay?
And you see your mother's face go pale. And she looks away. No, sweetie. She's not. Emily passed away.
I think at this point Amelia's probably sat up. I think she's like holding Bunny for like dear life, basically, and I think she's just like shaking her head.
Your mom hugs you. And she says, I'm sorry, baby. I know she was your friend. You don't have to go to school today, honey. You can stay home with me and Ashton.
I think she just like falls into her mom's arms. But Bunny and Donkey were supposed to have a play date.
I know, honey. I don't. That play date's. It's not gonna happen, sweetie.
Mm. Okay. Oh. Um. And I think she just starts crying.
And your mom will just hold you as long as you need. And we will fade to black there. The other three of you arrive at school. And Amelia's not here today. You don't see her. Teacher calls attendance. Amelia's not here today. And there is a palpable difference today at school. Kids are talking.
Would it have been like common knowledge? Would it have been spread around school what happened yet, or no?
There are a variety of different stories happening. Y'all are little. Like, you are 4th or 5th grade. So some of the older kids are like, I know what happened. And they're kind of telling these stories. Some of the kids, like the kids in your grade, some of them are clueless, like they haven't heard anything. Some of them are like, I heard there's coyotes in the park. And there's just a lot of like different stories that are out there. There's a couple kids in the grade below you who are just like at recess just cry. But you don't there's no real consensus about what happened or what's going on.
Do
But
we know
the
that
teachers are on high alert. The teachers are whispering even more than they were yesterday to one another. There are a lot of people in like fancy like blouses and suits that are like set up in the conference rooms at the front of the building, and kids are going in and out. There's a police officer is on site today again, and he sticks around a little bit longer than before.
Is it common knowledge that she's died, or no? Not
There
even
are
that much.
there are some kids who say like, oh, a kid died. Depending on who you talk to and who you ask, you get different answers. Somebody's like, oh yeah, a bunch of dogs got eaten at the park. And some kids say like, there was a massacre and 18 people died. Like, there are just like a million different stories floating around. If you talk to Lydia, you might get Lydia's rendition of what she saw on the news. Some kids have stories like that that are similar to what was heard on the news. Some kids have, like I said, completely wild made up stories. Some kids are just trying to be cool. Some of the older kids are trying to scare the little ones. Yeah.
I think Ember and Lydia aren't on speaking terms currently, so that probably didn't happen.
So yeah, so that's what you find out. And then it's recess time again. And there are more adults out on the playground than normal. Usually it's just the teachers whose classes are out on recess, but you notice there are extra people out here. Some of the like custodians are out here. The cafeteria staff is out here. Like, there are just extra adults kind of around. And part of the way through recess, Lydia, you see through the fence. The like playground here is like fenced in, and the like parking lot is on the other side of that fence. You see a man like standing in the parking lot. He is in his mid-30s. He has short brown hair and a beard, pretty well groomed. He's wearing a leather jacket over a plain white t-shirt, jeans, boots. His dark sunglasses obscure his eyes, but he is scanning his surroundings with a sharp gaze. You see him looking around. You see him looking at the kids on the playground. At first glance, he seems to be ordinary, like maybe he's a parent here to pick up his kid, but there's something weird about him. You notice that his jacket, he like at one point like reaches into his jacket into like a weird hidden interior pocket and pulls out some device. It's too big to be a cell phone. And he kind of holds it around, puts it back, pulls something from another pocket. And this is like a long, thin metal object. He seems to be looking for something. He kind of is pacing back and forth a little bit, moving to different spaces around the parking lot. No one else seems to notice him. Or if they do, they're not really thinking anything of it. There is something about him that just exudes a sense of danger, but also of authority. Like this guy knows what he's doing, but like seems like he is ready for something to happen. What do you do?
I will probably go get Ember.
Okay.
Okay. Ember is just chatting with whoever happens to be around. Nobody's really listening to her, and she looks up. Oh, hi.
She's gonna take your hand and immediately start dragging you over to like the gate.
Okay. She follows along. She quietly follows along.
Um,
What?
does this man look kind of creepy to you?
How close is this guy, Drew?
He's maybe 15 feet from the fence.
Okay. Ember sort of whispers back. Yeah, he's weird. It's not that cold out here, and he's wearing a big coat. It's weird.
Do you think we should tattletale?
She looks and says, I mean, I would, but
You
I
hear
don't
his
know
cell
what you
phone
want.
ring, and he picks up the phone and he starts having a conversation with someone. Do you listen?
Yeah.
He said, you hear him. It's kind of hard to pick it up because the kids on the playground, some of them are like yelling and screaming. It's, we're outside, so it's kind of hard. This like cars are going by on the street, but you pick up a few sentences. You hear him say, yeah, I'm almost done here. I'm not picking anything up. Yeah, I'll check out the park again today. Let's rendezvous at midnight. And that's all you really get. And then he hangs up the phone, puts the phone back in his pocket, and he walks over to blue, mid-size, decent condition, not super fancy, not super new, but not a junker either, pickup truck. And he gets in the pickup truck, and you notice that the license plate is not an Ohio license plate, which is where Harvest Heights is. The license plate is from Georgia. And he drives off.
Ember just looks at Lydia and is like, he's going to go to the park at midnight when there's like coyotes and stuff out there? There's all kinds of stuff.
While you're talking to her, she is out loud repeating the license plate number, trying to like memorize it over and over and over again.
Make me a TN4 skill check.
Okay, it's a success. We're good.
Cool. Yeah, you memorize it.
Okay, good.
And Ember's like, should we tell somebody?
About that time, you hear the whistle blow. Recess is over.
I think as we're walking back, I'm gonna say, I think we need to go sell cookies at the park tonight.
Okay. 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 Sure.
Okay.
All right. I'll probably get an early start selling around my neighborhood just to make sure that, we get enough sold. But yeah, no, that sounds good.
Lydia will roll her eyes so hard that if it was a cartoon, she'd fall back on the ground and she just walks away from you completely.
The rest of your day goes off without a hitch. Nothing else really happens. The energy is still really weird. That police officer sticks around all day. You see kids go into those conference rooms and they come out and some of them are sniffling and crying. You hear from one of your friends, Ember, that they're counselors or like therapists that are here because somebody died and some kids are sad about it. And you you head out. And on your way out, so the school day ends, and Randall is there to pick you up, Lydia. He's there to pick all of you up to go cookie selling. Whether you decide to still do that or not is up to you guys. But he pulls up, and again, his music is blaring. And as you come out, you notice there's someone in the front seat with him. A woman. Maybe you've seen her. I don't know. He gets a new girlfriend like every couple days, but it looks like one of his girlfriends. But she's sitting in the front seat, and she's got this like long, kind of greasy hair. She's really thin, but she's got this big like flannel shirt on over top of her kind of like tank top that she's wearing underneath. And she's sitting and her knees are up in the front seat. And she's just kind of like bopping along to the music.
I assume that she's gonna like pop her head up to the window and say, are you Randall's new baby mama?
She turns to you and then she turns to Randall and gives him this look and he says, God damn it, Lydia. I told you not to say that. No. And she looks at you and she rolls her eyes at Randall and she laughs and she says, you must be Lydia. I'm Sadie. Nice to meet you.
Sadie, are you going cookie selling with us or what?
Well, I'm just hanging out with Randall today. He said that he had to drop you guys off somewhere, so I'm just along for the ride.
Hanging out? Like, what does that mean?
And again, she looks at Randall and he says, Lydia, mind your business.
Well, I'm just asking. I just want to know if I'm going to get, like another little friend to hang out with and she's going to hop in the back seat.
Sadie laughs. And Randall looks back and says, where are the other ones? Are we doing this or not? What's the plan? Where are we going?
Yeah, we're doing it. I don't know where anybody else is.
Is this a truck?
Yeah.
As soon as you
yeah,
don't
but
know
I think
anyone
it has
else's,
it has a back seat. Like it's like a
you
it's one of
see
those like big
you see
cab.
Piper trying to climb in like the truck bed, like she's got like one leg over.
Randall probably just lets it happen. Where's the brat and the weird one?
At about that time, Ember opens the door and goes, hello, Sadie. Nice to meet you. And because I guess the window was open and she heard her say what her name was. And she crawls in the back, actively pretending like she doesn't know which one she'd rather be, the dork, or the weird one.
And
she
Randall
looks
just
back
looks
for
at you.
Amelia.
Are we waiting
Is
on the
Amelia
other
there?
one, or what's the deal?
I guess not. Because she's not here, is she? She's not.
She was not at school today, no.
Can we make a pit stop and go pick her up at her house?
Yeah, I guess. Uh, and they close the doors and they drive off and they'll head towards Amelia's house. And as they pull in and he says, "Look, I'm not going in. If you go up there and get her and come back out, y'all have like 5 minutes and then I'm leaving."
Okay. Okay. As I think we're all gonna get out, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Up to
Um,
you.
she's gonna look back at Sadie and says, "You hear that? You only have 5 minutes." And she's gonna run up on the porch.
She laughs.
I guess I'll knock
So all
on the
three of us.
So
Yeah.
Amelia lives in like an apartment that's above the storefront. So you all go through the little side door and up to her level. Um, and you go over to her apartment and you knock on the door and her mom enters. Amelia, you hear from your bedroom or the couch, decided wherever you are. You hear a knock on the door and Amelia's mom opens the door. "Oh, hi, girls. Um, what can I do for you?"
Um, can Amelia come out?
Um, come on in, girls.
We only got 5 minutes before he leaves, so
Okay,
okay.
I'll go get her. I don't know if she's gonna want to go or not, but and she'll walk back. Are you in your bedroom or are you in the living room? In your bedroom, okay. So she'll come to your room and she kind of knocks on the door before she opens it, and she says, "Amelia, your friends are here. They're going to sell cookies. Do you want to come talk to them, or do you want me to tell them to go without you?"
Um, um, I'll I'll go.
Okay. And so she kind of opens the door for you to go out, and you see your friends there.
Amelia's in her PJs. She never got dressed today. Nor do I think is she going to get dressed today.
Your mom
Um,
doesn't say anything about it.
so I think I got Bunny in my hand and I put him in my backpack and I put my backpack on and I'm like holding the straps and I'm like trying to smile, but I have been crying.
I think Ember is about to say something about how you're dressed, but like Piper like elbows her or something, and she shuts up. She doesn't say anything. She's like, okay.
As you all head out, you are coming down the stairs, and you're about to get in the car, and you see from your peripheral vision, coming out of the coffee shop, which is beneath um, Amelia's apartment. You see the man from the playground, the man that you saw at school today. And he walks up the block a little bit, and then you notice his big blue pickup truck as he's walking toward it.
I'm gonna look at Ember and say, "Is that him?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's him for sure.
Piper, we gotta follow that guy, okay?
I think Piper, her like, her face is like, yeah, let's do it.
Who are we following?
A creepy man that we saw outside at recess. He has like a weird machine thing and a creepy jacket, and um, I think we gotta follow him, okay?
Why would we follow a creepy guy?
Well, so he can't do creepy stuff.
He is kind of waiting. The cars are coming by. He's trying to get in his car. This is a one-way street. He's parked on the right side, but the cars are going by, so he's trying to like wait for the cars to go by to get in his to be able to open his driver's side door. And about this time, he opens the door.
Ember runs over to Sadie's window like in the car, in Randall's car.
She goes, ah, where did you come from?
She goes, hey, there's a weirdo creep guy who was hanging outside of school, and we think we just saw him, and we want you guys to help us follow him in a car.
The fuck? Randall. And Randall looks at you and goes, I am not following a creepy guy. Did you tell your teacher?
No, but it was
No,
recess was over, and go ahead.
We told, yeah, and the adults didn't want to do anything. So, Randall, please help us.
And Ember sort of works on Sadie, sort of getting the sort of her natural charm sort of situation, manipulation thing, realizes that if Sadie says let's do it, there's more of a chance than if you tell Randall let's do it. So
get in, just get in. And about this time, as you all are piling into the truck, this other blue truck drives past. And you all finally get in, they close the door, and Randall takes off and is seemingly following him. What? Okay, now give me the whole story. Why are we following this guy?
Well, and she's gonna cautiously kind of look back at Amelia. And
Did he offer you candy, Lydia? Did he touch you? I
No,
swear to God, I will kill him.
no. I think there's some weird stuff going on with kids, maybe, and I don't want anything else to happen. And he gave me the ick, okay? And I want people to be safe, and I don't want anybody else to get hurt. And I think we can do something here, all right?
All right. And you all follow him for a little bit, and you end up at the park. And the cop that was at the front gates is not there anymore. The gates are still closed, but you see him kind of pull off onto the side of the road, and he gets out of his car and he walks in. And there is a police officer kind of near this like cordoned off place over on the side, and he walks up to him, and you see him talking, and he pulls out a notepad and he's like writing some stuff down. And he hands the notepad to the police officer, and you see the police officer write something down. And the creepy man rips it out of his notebook and puts it in his pocket. And then you see them shake hands, and the police officer walks off and goes and sits in a cruiser that's kind of a little bit further down the way. And then you see the man kind of looking at this area that's been taped off. He's just kind of walking around. You see him get that device out of his pocket again.
Where would we be in this scenario? Are we like
So you guys are
outside
kind of on the road. There's like a kind of like a gravel shoulder where his truck is pulled off. You all are kind of pulled off there too. You're sort of behind a tree, so you can't quite see everything. He can't really see you, but you're kind of there. But you guys can kind of see a little bit of him. He's maybe 50, 60 feet into the park. And you all are out sort of on the road by the entrance.
Well, I'm going in.
Okay. Randall is like, Lydia, what are you doing? But it's too late, and he knows better. And you are out of the car. Does anybody follow her?
I do.
Ember's the last one out. She's obviously unsure, but she does follow. She can't go without.
Okay, cool. So you all head off, and you get pretty close to him before he notices you. You're about halfway. You're maybe 20, 25 feet from him, and he stops, and he turns around. Hey, kids, park's closed. You can't be here.
Why were you at our school today?
I don't. What do you mean?
I saw you too.
Yeah, I did too.
Go ahead and make a You can either make a charm test or a toughness test, whether you want to try to like sweet talk him or intimidate him.
I know what I'm doing.
We'll
What,
say
TN?
TN 5.
Okay. Yeah, I got successes.
Yeah, we're good.
He says he's kind of taken aback for a second, and you see him kind of the gears are spinning, and he says, I'm a reporter. I'm covering this. Look, y'all are probably too young to know about all of this, but like, let's just say someone got hurt. It was a kid, and I'm just interviewing people. I'm a reporter.
What you
What was
got in your jacket? What is that?
A notepad because I'm a reporter, and he
No.
pulls out the notepad out of his pocket, and it's just this little lined, spiral bound kind of notepad.
No, the other thing, it's like a device. See, I have the electrician badge, and I can tell when things are electronic.
Oh, you mean this? And he pulls out this large device, and he kind of waves it, and then puts it back in his pocket immediately. You don't get a good view of it. It's a tape recorder, so I can voice dictations. It's a reporter thing. Look, you all got to get out of here. And he starts waving at the cop in the cop car, who's not really paying too much attention, but he's like trying to flag down the cop.
Ember grabs, oh shit, Presley, grabs
Amelia.
what's her name? Amelia. I was gonna say, okay, gotcha. Amelia grabs Amelia and shoves her forward and says, "This is Emily's sister, and she thinks you know what happened."
Amelia is probably crying again.
There you go. And I mean, I can roll if you want me to. I don't know.
No, you don't need to roll. He stops and he looks at you, Ember. And he looks to Amelia, and then he looks back to you. And he kind of leans down at you. What do you know, kid?
He's asking Ember.
Yeah.
She goes, "I know that Emily wasn't at school today, and everybody was really sad. And they're talking about how there's wild animals in the park, but I don't think there's really wild animals at the park. And I think you know what's here. I think you need to say something. You need to tell us."
Listen to me,
She needs
kid.
to know.
As a reporter, you need to keep your nose where it belongs. These wild animals are no joke. They're dangerous. And you should stay away. I need you to make a charm test, TN6, to see how you respond to this.
One success.
So you kind of, this is intense. And this grown man is in your face, and he is serious in a way that you may not be familiar with. And it's scary. And you kind of start to feel the tears coming, and you swallow hard and take a deep breath in and hold your ground. And about that time, you hear the police officer crunching along, coming behind. And he leans in a little bit closer. Go ahead.
I think Ember squeezes Amelia's hand really hard, and glances sort of back, and she sort of leans over and whispers to Amelia that, I think we're gonna find out what happened here. I think we will.
Amelia like squeezes her hand back. Is the guy still there? He's still standing there?
Hearing the cop come up behind him, he kind of stands up, fixes his jacket, and he leaves quickly.
Okay. Does a cop get out of the car?
The cop is out of the car. He's headed towards you, and he's like, "Hey, kids, you cannot be here. Park is closed. Go. Where did you even come from?" And he sees your brother's car at this point, and he's like, "Go now before I arrest you."
I just want to know what happened to my friend.
Talk to your parents, kid. I need all of you to make a skill test DC 5, TN5.
Fast.
Not fast.
Oh.
Right. Amelia, when he yells at you, right, you look down kind of just out of habit. You don't want to make eye contact with him. And you see right next to Ember's foot a wadded up piece of lined paper, perhaps about the size of the notepad. And Ember, you kind of meet her gaze and you see it. With your pass, you're able to quickly scoop down and grab it before you all get pushed. Maybe not physically pushed, but like by presence pushed back towards your car. And by this point, the guy has gotten in his truck and is headed off. And you all are back in Randall's car.
As soon as we get in the car, I'm snatching the paper from Ember and I'm opening it.
Yeah.
It says G. Mayfield, and there's an address.
Hey Randall. I know that you don't want to be driving anymore. But could you take us here, please?
Against my better judgment.
She's giving him the biggest like puppy dog eyes in the rear view.
God, you're so weird. Yes. And he will look at the address. Yeah, I think I know where this is. And he drives off. As you're driving, Lydia, make me a TN4 skill test.
Oh, 4?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pass.
Cool. So as you're driving, at one point, Sadie's like flannel kind of like falls off her shoulder, and you notice that she has a tattoo on her arm that looks very similar to that necklace that they showed on the news. And she sees you looking at it, and she quickly pulls the jacket up over her shoulder and kind of pulls the flannel closed.
She, because she's a nosy kid, she's probably gonna lean over and say, "I really like your tattoo.
Thanks, kid.
Can I ask what it is?"
Oh, it's just a family thing. You know, the moon and all. I don't know. It's just a family thing.
So, like, everybody in your family has that?
No, not everybody. It's just you know what? It was a drawing that my grandma did a long time ago. I found it in her sketches.
Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, do you know anybody else in your family who has something like that?
You have a lot of questions, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't get to talk to that many people. And I mean, believe it or not, Randall doesn't really have many girls around. So it's just kind of nice. And not to put this on you, but ain't got no mama. So, I mean, you're as close as it's going to get. So just, Sadie, talk to me, please.
And at that point, Randall kind of elbows you and is like, Lydia, knock it off. Leave her alone. And he looks at her and he says, I'm so sorry. We're going to drop these kids off and you and I will be done with this. And so he gets you, at about that time, you get to the street that this house is on. And it's not too far from where Piper's RV park is. We're kind of a few blocks away from the town center. And he's like, all right, y'all get out here. Piper's parents can take you home. I will let them know that you guys are here. Piper's parents can take you home. We got places to be. And he pulls his phone out and he texts Piper's dad. Yeah, he said he's got you. He'll pick you up. Just go do this street and then go back to Piper's house and he will take you all home. Bye.
Thank you. She yells, I guess, as he probably drives away and doesn't hear her.
Do you all think that one guy was like a vampire hunter? Because like I was watching Twilight and like they always said that like the vampires, it was like animal attacks. And like, do you think that guy is like a vampire hunter?
Do you think that there are vampires?
I don't know.
Amelia looks so scared and worried when she says that.
Well, I didn't think there was something that could mind control cats either, so.
I guess that's fair.
And as you all stand there in the afternoon, your cookies in hand, we will go to break.
Oh, okay.
So it is 8:27. We will take a 10-minute break. So we'll be back at, we'll say 8:40. We'll do 13 minutes. We will be back. Enjoy your break. Come back for the conclusion of this week's episode of The Ties That Bind BadgeQuest. Thanks, y'all. See you in 10.
Bye.
All right, we are back. Welcome back. We left off as our brave blossoms were dropped off down the street from this address that was found, dropped off the creepy man. And yeah, the piece of paper said G Mayfield and this address. And the address that you have is about 2.5 blocks down the street from where Randall dropped you guys off. What would you like to do?
I'm
Ember
going
is
to the house.
absolutely okay. Yeah, Ember is following. She is a follower in this
Mhm.
situation when things get weird.
All right, so you all head down the street. The street is quiet. There's not a lot of people out. You don't really see anyone, even though it's like afternoonish. And you come upon the house on the address on the paper. You are met with a 2-story home painted a soft yellow shade with white trim, giving it a warm and inviting feel. A white picket fence surrounds the house, enclosing a well-manicured lawn with lush green grass and colorful flower beds. The front porch is wide and welcoming, with a porch swing and a couple of rocking chairs. The windows of the house have colorful shutters and flower boxes hang beneath them, filled with bright blooms. The front door is painted in a cheerful red color, with a brass doorknob and a brass knocker in the shape of a wolf's head. There's a yellow police tape surrounding the home, and a singular police car parked in the driveway. You all are a few houses down the street from this, but this is what you see.
I'm gonna look at the other girls.
I think we're all looking at you.
I think you see Amelia take like she's just like holding this little note, and she like takes a really big deep breath in, and then will, I guess, go up to the house, or as close as she can get.
As you get close, you see in the driver's seat of the cop car is a police officer. Just sitting there.
Ember sort of grabs her and says, "Do you think we should sneak around back?" And she looks back at Piper and Lydia.
The windows of the police car are cracked open. They're open maybe about this much. The police officer's just kind of looking in one direction, not moving.
That's
How close do you get?
I guess we're sneaking around back. So I'm just gonna go along the tape line around the back on the other side of where the car is.
As you get close to the car, you hear from the front seat. This cop is
We're going to the front
asleep.
door.
okay.
Okay, so you go underneath the tape. You don't see anybody around. You kind of duck underneath the tape and up to the front door. Front door's unlocked.
When she like notices that the front door is unlocked, she's once again gonna kind of turn to the other ones, and then go inside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go in the house, and it is still in here. The floorboards creak a little bit. It's dark. It's not dark, it's light outside, but there are no lights on. You don't hear the hum of any sort of like electronics. Like there's no like the air's not running. You don't hear like a refrigerator running. Like it's just quiet in here.
Have I been here before?
You tell me.
Probably.
Okay.
When I go inside, I'm gonna go up to where Emily's room is.
Okay. You as you go through the house, you notice that like a lot of things seem to be like moved, knocked over. Not knocked over, but like moved out of the way. Like the pillows from the couch are on the floor. It looks like you think that the police probably came and searched through here. You go up to Emily's room. Yeah, the door's open.
Do I see Donkey?
You don't.
No.
He's not in here. This room has been not as messed with. You see like the blankets for the bed are kind of on the floor. The desk drawers maybe are open. She's like a little like coloring desk in her room. But compared to the rest of the house, there's not much that's been touched in here.
Do you guys see anything?
Ember is wide-eyed and just sort of looking around. I mean, she's not really looking for anything. She's sort of hiding behind Piper, basically, right now.
I think she's looking at Lydia.
And we don't see anything, right?
What are you looking for? Are you just like standing in the room looking?
I mean clues.
Okay.
Because you said
Um,
see donkey.
you do not see Donkey. What you see in this room is a little girl's room. It's painted pink. There are other stuffed animals on the bed, but not Donkey. The stuffed animals on the bed look a little bit less worn. You see like she has this little desk with a bunch of like crayons and paper. And above it, there's like a little cork board, and you see pinned in some drawings. One of them is a drawing of Donkey. There's a drawing of like 4 girls in like little ballerina dresses.
That's mine. I'm taking that and I'm taking the donkey picture and I'm putting them in my backpack.
Okay.
Do I see a drawing of like the little pendant or anything?
Mm-mm.
You see a journal or anything like that she may have kept?
No.
No.
I'm gonna go to her grandma's room and I think she knocks on the door just out of habit and then realizes there's nobody here and then goes in.
Compared to Emily's room, this room has been ransacked. Every drawer is open and emptied. The bed is completely stripped. There's like a bookshelf in here that has like some books, but a lot of like trinkets and knickknacks, and they are all out of order. Everything's been messed up. This room has been flipped. If you're gonna search, are you gonna search this room? Okay. Anyone that's searching this room, go ahead and make a skill test. TN 5, I believe. Hang on. Yes, TN5 skill test.
I passed. I got a 6.
Fast.
Yeah, I passed.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool. So you all go through this room and you're looking for clues, right? You don't necessarily know what you're looking for. You're looking and you're looking, and it's just stuff. It's like old lady stuff. Just knickknacks and tchotchkes and pictures and photo albums. And you pick up a photo album and you're just kind of flipping through it. And Lydia, you stop at a photo. In this photo, you see a group of women gathered around a bonfire outside a cabin in the woods. They all have big smiles on their faces, and there's an air of excitement and camaraderie. They're dressed in cozy sweaters and comfortable jeans, with some of them wearing knit hats to keep warm. In the center of the group is Georgia Mayfield. She's holding a guitar and leading the group in a sing-along, it seems. The other women are various ages, sizes, ethnicities, but they're all equally enthusiastic and friendly. And as the four of you scan, you recognize some other figures. Ember, you see your Aunt Stephanie. Piper, you see Mrs. Winslow, who runs the community gardens that's near your RV park. And Lydia, you see Sadie. And as you look closer, it's hard to make out from the photo because it's pretty small, but you see nestled behind the guitar what can only be that necklace. Mrs. Mayfield is wearing that pendant. And you look and you notice Mrs. Winslow has a brooch on her like sweater. It's like a little pin. Same symbol.
I'm
There's
gonna
another woman
know.
that's wearing earrings, dangly earrings. Same symbol. And you pull the picture out of the photo album, and on the back is drawn that same symbol.
I haven't told the girls yet, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think the moment I see this photo, Lydia's gonna turn around and say, "Y'all, I know what this is about. I I heard on the news that there was a necklace found at the crime scene, and I drew a picture of it, and Sadie had the same tattoo, and I don't know what this is, but it feels weird, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what my aunt that's in the picture, is this my on my father's side or mother's side?
It's your mother's sister. You don't see her very much. Your mom always talks about how she's just some like crunchy hippie that doesn't have any ambitions. And she went to art school. They do not get along. It's your mother's younger sister.
Hmm.
You see her like maybe twice a year, like Christmas and birthday, maybe.
Hmm. Hmm. What if why is this girl hanging out with Randall?
I don't I don't know.
Do you think he's in trouble?
Well, I think he can handle himself, but I don't know. She got all weird when I asked about the tattoo. I mean, she said it was a family thing. So,
Well, this is I mean, that's my aunt. She's my family. I've never seen that before.
well,
Okay,
maybe
hear me out. I know I was talking about Twilight earlier, right? But what if instead of vampires, it's werewolves? Because it's the moon. And like Paxer family. I'm just throwing it out there.
So are you saying Ember's aunt is a werewolf?
Maybe.
You all hear a thump from downstairs. and footsteps.
Is there a closet?
Hello? Somebody
We
in
hide
here.
immediately.
Yeah.
We hide.
You hear footsteps coming up the staircase.
We're hiding.
I'm getting in the
Under the
closet.
bed.
Okay. Go ahead and everybody make me a TN5 skill test to see if you all successfully hide.
I'm under the bed.
Success?
Okay, success. Thank God I'm nervous.
Okay.
I'm always getting in trouble.
Just as you all get into your hiding places, you hear the door to the bedroom swings open. Hey, you two! And he looks right at Piper and Ember. Because y'all failed your checks, right?
Do we recognize this guy?
It's a
Yes.
police officer.
Oh, okay.
It's the cop from the car. What the hell are you doing in here? Y'all cannot be in here.
She was our best friend, and we wanted to see if she had our.
Oh my god. He grabs his radio.
Crazy.
It's just a couple of stupid kids. Get out. Y'all better not have touched anything. This is a crime scene. Did you not see the yellow tape?
I can't read.
And he grabs you by your shoulder, both of you. He grabs you by your shoulder and pushes you out of the room.
Okay. Yeah,
And
Ember
walks you
squeals
down the stairs.
She continues to squeal loud enough that hopefully the other girls can hear. Every time this guy touches her, so they can hear when he's gone.
And he leads you out the front door and he pulls it closed behind him. Now get away from this house. You cannot be here. Go before I call your parents.
I jump and grab Piper's hand, I guess.
Thank you for all you do for the community, sir. She salutes him.
We'll go back in the house, and the two of you are hidden. You hear the front door close. You hear the car door shut.
She kind of like army crawls her way out from under the bed and just like wide-eyed at Lydia, mouth open.
We gotta go.
Should we search the rest of the house?
For what?
I don't anything.
I think we need to talk to Sadie. I don't know what else there is to find. I mean, what if this family, I don't know, did something? I don't know.
I don't know either. And I think Amelia's probably crying again.
Oh, and I think Lydia will try to comfort her, even though it's probably awkward. And she's gonna take your hand and she's gonna say, "Let's go out the back so nobody sees us, okay?"
Okay.
Do you want to go to her room one more time?
She just shakes her head.
Okay. Let's go.
You all
in her hand.
sneak out the back, and as you kind of sneak around the house, you hear the cop in his car on the radio. Yeah, it was just some kids. No sign of the old woman. I'll check in again in a couple hours. And then he pulls out his phone and just starts scrolling on something.
The moment I hear that, I'm gonna look at Amelia and say, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah.
Do you think he meant the old woman in the picture? Her grandma?
I don't know what other old woman he could be talking about.
Okay. We gotta show this picture to Sadie and ask.
Yeah.
So you all sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, do any of us have cell phones?
Does Ember have her emergency cell phone on her? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, well, I feel like her dad would make sure that she always carries the phone if she's going out without him for
Yeah.
emergencies.
So Ember has the emergency phone.
I think the moment we get outside, I'm gonna find Ember and ask to use her phone.
Yeah, you guys meet back up.
Yeah. Ember's like, it's supposed to be for emergencies.
This is an emergency, okay? We gotta call Sadie. We gotta talk to her. I think she's gonna know what happened.
Do you trust her with she has a tattoo of the same people that are in that picture.
Please.
And about that
Okay.
time, Piper, your dad drives up. There you girls are. I've been looking for you. It's starting to get late. Come on, I gotta take you guys home.
Ember hands, while they're all moving that way, Ember hands Lydia the phone.
She's gonna text her brother.
Okay, what does it say?
Hey, this is Lydia. I need to talk to you when I get home.
No response.
She's gonna text back. Hey, I know you read this. I need you to text me back.
He'll say, I'm busy.
She'll say, where are you?
Home.
Okay. She's just gonna text, I'm scared. I'll see you soon.
Piper's dad drives you all home. Lydia, you're the last one to get dropped off. And you go into your trailer and your Nini's asleep in the recliner. But you hear your brother and a woman, seemingly Sadie, their trailer next door, they're yelling, fighting.
She will go to his trailer.
Yeah, you hear your brother yelling at her and you hear her screaming back, and it's almost hard to make out the words. And your brother just keep going like, what is your problem? I don't understand why you're so upset. And she's just almost incomprehensible.
He's gonna open the door.
And you see them kind of standing in the living room there, and your brother has this look of like confusion but also anger and frustration, and Sadie is sobbing, like tears pouring down her face. And when you walk in, she just stops. They both do, and they look at you. And your brother says, Lydia, now's not a good time. Go back home.
She's gonna hold like the picture out and say, who is this?
Sadie looks at it and she freezes. Fuck. And she'll sit down. And she just cries.
What happened to Emily?
I'll tell you when you get older. You're too young.
I need to know. Please.
She was hurt by a monster. Okay?
What kind of monster?
Look, it doesn't matter.
Like a werewolf?
When you say that, she stops short. And she looks to Randall. And she looks back to you and she says, you have to stop asking questions.
My friend Piper is really smart and she figured it out. Am I right? I just need a yes or no. And
Her hand
anymore.
instinctively goes to the shoulder where the tattoo is. She can't look at you. And Randall's just sitting there, silent.
So it's a yes?
Lydia, leave her alone.
I need to know. I just need a yes or a no. I just need to know.
Lydia, werewolves are not real. Quit asking her questions. She's upset, okay? She just lost a family member. She's having a bad day enough. Quit asking her questions.
Was it your grandma?
She shakes her head. Not exactly.
Was it this woman? And she's going to point at the older lady.
We haven't lost her yet, but we might.
Um, is Emily dead? Dead?
She nods.
Was she killed by one of your family members?
She nods and cries.
I'm sure it was an accident, right?
She just sobs.
Randall, can you go for just a second, please?
Fuck. Yeah. Then he kind of puts his head in his hands and he walks outside.
The moment he does, she's gonna go to hug Sadie.
She'll
And
let you hug her.
she'll hug her for a second and say, "What do you need help with?"
I need to go to her. Your brother won't take me.
Um, okay. How far is it?
It's about 30 minutes outside of town. I have to be there tomorrow. They need me.
Okay. Go cookie selling with us tomorrow. And we'll get you there. I promise. Just you're a big kid. If you can convince one of the parents that we're going to this big thing and you'll watch us, I think we can all go, right?
I don't have a car.
No, it's okay. We can we'll ask my Nini or we can ask Ember's dad. We'll get you there. I promise, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Um I'll see you tomorrow, okay? I promise.
And we will close the scene there. The next day is Friday. No? Yeah, wait, where are we? Yeah, the next day is Friday. And you all go to school. And when you come home, your Nini is laying on the couch. She's not feeling well. I'll give you the option. You can either, it's going to be TN6 either way. You can do a charm test to convince your grandma to let Sadie borrow her car, or you can do a skill test to steal the keys without her noticing.
Let's do a skills test.
Okay. TN6.
Okay. Pray for me.
And I'll give you an extra die.
It's
'cause you
okay.
s-
I got a
succeed.
5 and a 6. We're good. We're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so your Nini is sick and she's laying on the couch. And her purse with her keys are sitting on the counter. And she says, "Girl, I can't take you out to meet the girls for cookies. Go see if your brother will take you." And you grab the keys from her purse. And Sadie's sitting outside your brother's trailer.
I'm gonna just look at her and I'm gonna walk to the car.
She'll get up to follow you. Your grandma said we could borrow the car?
No, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
Okay. Are we picking up the other girls?
Yeah, we have to.
Okay. Oh, I shouldn't be putting y'all in danger like this, but we could probably use the help. All right.
It's okay. I mean, we fought some cats the other day, so this is no big deal. I mean, I assume
That's right. I saw
Sure.
you guys on the news. Your
I
friend
wasn't
Ember
on
is so talented.
she's something. Okay, let's go pick him up.
And you all drive around and pick up the other girls. And once everybody is picked up, she starts heading out of town towards the like forest, like the wooded area. And you all drive for a while, about 20 minutes outside of town on these kind of back roads, and you come to this long gravel driveway. And you pull up the driveway and you see you're approaching a cabin. The cabin is nestled deep within the dense forest, surrounded by towering trees that filter the sunlight through their leaves. The exterior is made of dark wood, weathered by years of exposure to the elements. The front porch is wide and inviting, with a couple of rocking chairs and a small table where one can enjoy the fresh air and scenery. There's a deck, a large deck off the side, with chairs. And out front, you see that fire pit with some chairs around it, just like in the photo. As you approach the cabin, you hear a low growling and snarling coming from inside. Smoke from a fire pit outside the cabin rises into the air, carrying the scent of burning wood and herbs. As you pull up through the window, you see a group of women gathered around a table covered in various items such as candles, incense, and herbs. They're deep in concentration. It looks like they're muttering something. Suddenly, there's a loud crash coming from within the cabin. You hear the sound of claws scratching at wood and snarls of frustration. And just then, as you get out of the car, a woman steps around from the side of the house, staring down the barrel of a shotgun pointed directly at her, directly at you. You recognize this woman from the photo. She's in her mid-20s. She has long, dark brown hair pulled back in a ponytail, her tan skin and freckles across her nose and cheeks. There's a scar on her forearm that looks like a scratch or a bite mark. Stay right where you are. Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm gonna look at Sadie.
Sadie gets out of the car and she says, "Zelda, it's okay. Just stop. They're with me." And the woman lowers the shotgun. "Sadie, what? I'm glad you're here, but why did you bring these little kids with you?" And she looks and she kind of looks at you and she looks at you, Lydia, and she says, I couldn't get a ride. They said they'd come. They were supposed to go sell cookies. Look, it's a long story, okay? But I'm here. And she says, well, it is not safe. Y'all need to just like wait in the car or something.
Lydia's gonna step forward and say, Emily was our friend.
When you say that name, you see this look come over her face. And the tan skin kind of goes pale. I'm sorry, girls.
We just want to help. Please.
All right. And you hear again another loud pound. Fine. Look, when we go in, there's a loft. Just go up there, okay? Stay above. We got work to do. And she looks at Sadie and nods, and Sadie kind of goes off and starts picking some flowers out of the front garden. And the woman, Zelda, leads you inside. And you see 6, 7, 8 women around in this circle. And they are poring over. They've got these like old books, and some of them are flipping through, and you hear this like weird chanting almost from some of them, and there are a few lighting incense and kind of arranging these dried flowers and herbs around. And they all look up at you, and you recognize a lot of them from the photo. Mrs. Winslow is here. Your Aunt Stephanie is not. But 3 or 4 of the women from the photo are here. And though the woman that you're with is just like, look, I don't know, Sadie brought them. It's just, we just got to get this finished, okay? She doesn't have much time left. And she kind of scooches you to the loft. There's like this ladder that leads up to this sort of like lofted space where there's like a bed and stuff. And you hear the women go about their business. Sadie comes in and she says, how's she doing? And you hear them say, it's not good. I've never seen someone stay transformed this long. If we don't get this ritual done, she could be stuck like that forever. And then she looks up at you all, Sadie does, and she says, hey, girls, will you help?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how to make a daisy chain?
Yeah.
And she hands you this bundle of like wildflowers. I need you to make just a long chain with these and then connect it so it's like a big circle. Can you do that? She hands them up to you. And they continue to go about their business as you all do that. Go ahead and make a skill test TN4 for me.
Is this not tying?
Yep, you can count this as not tying.
Okay.
Succeeded.
Awesome.
Yep.
Piper?
I did not.
Yes. Okay. 3 of you succeeded. So Ember is not very good at this, but Amelia, you're able to help her out. And you do get all of this done. And Sadie comes and collects it from you and she thanks you. And they put it, there's this door that all of this noise is coming from. You hear this like snarling and slashing, and every now and then the door gets hit from the other side and you see it kind of bulge out, but it's holding tight. And they take this daisy chain that you've created and put it in front of the door, and you see a couple of them get down with some chalk and they start drawing these symbols. And then the women gather in a circle around a table in the center of the room. On the table, there are candles, herbs, and a silver knife. One of the women, the one who seems to be the leader, starts chanting in a low melodic voice, and the others join in. As they chant, the leader picks up the silver knife, carves a symbol into a brick of wax. Then she takes a handful of herbs and sprinkles them over that symbol and places it in the center of that daisy chain. The women continue to chant, their voices rising in intensity. You hear the scratches on the other side of the door get louder and more aggressive, but the women ignore her. They focus entirely on this ritual. As the chanting reaches its crescendo, the leader takes the silver knife and cuts her own hand. She holds the bleeding hand over the herbs and that brick of wax and lets the blood drip onto them. She passes the dagger, the knife, to the next woman, slices her hand, blood. To the third, same thing. You start to hear the sound of engines, cars coming down the driveway. The women hesitate for a second. The next woman takes it, cuts her hand.
I think
Then you
Ember's
hear
going
shouting.
Yeah, Ember is going to grab Lydia and Amelia and look at Piper and go, let's go buy them time. Let's go. Let's run outside.
Okay. You hear shouting from outside. The chanting dies down for a moment. You all run outside and you see the blue pickup truck. And behind it, 4 or 5 more vehicles racing down this driveway. They screech to a halt in front of the house, and about 10 men, all dressed in leather jackets, boots, big, scary men, and the one that you saw outside get out. They all start yelling. You see shotguns being pulled out, and you hear the women from inside clambering, and they come out behind you all. And you hear the man in the front say, "Oh, we've got y'all now." And we're going to enter a scrap. As you hear a shotgun go off. So
Go
we
off?
are,
Guns.
yes. We are in a scrap. So go ahead and let's make an initiative roll.
Fucking hell.
TN5 skill test.
Nope.
I got one.
I passed.
2, was that 2 successes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys get to act first. So who is acting in the thinking round? Okay, who is acting in the running phase? And the fighting phase. Okay, so thinking phase, we will go there first. What would you all like to do?
I didn't get that far. I just knew I wasn't fighting. Josh, you got any ideas? Well, I think.
I got okay. Yeah. Ember is gonna squeeze Amelia's hand really tight and look over at Piper and go, and and you see her sort of stand up, like get a little taller, and she goes, "Well, showtime," and she yells as loud as her little voice will carry, and just she's been trained to project and do all this stuff for all the beauty pageants and singing and everything else that she's had to learn how to do. And she's gonna yell, "Oh, God. You guys better not come too close. The whole house is rigged to blow."
All right, make a charm test TN6.
Okay, do I get a +1 since it's trying to deceive people?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Oh,
Use that
oh, oh.
acting badge.
That's right. All right. Nope, not even 1. 5 dice, not a single 6.
The men do not seem to even at all phased by you.
She looks at the other two and goes, "I'm out of ideas."
I'm running. What I would like to do is run and. Are the cars moving or are they parked?
They're parked now. All the men have gotten
Okay.
out of them.
I would like to run and attempt to jump on the hood of one of the cars.
Okay. Make a skill test, TN4.
Yes. I got
Okay.
a 4.
Cool. So you run up to one of the cars and you jump on the hood.
And I'm gonna start jumping up and down.
Okay.
So it like hurts the car.
Okay,
And
so you're attempting to like damage the car
Yeah.
Okay.
More to make a distraction.
to make a distraction. Okay, yeah, sure. So absolutely. You run out and now there are a couple men around that car that are like, where did these little kids come from? And you've distracted a couple of them. For
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like Amelia's really fast.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Piper, what are you doing?
Okay, oh god, this is the stupidest idea. She's gonna take out her little Swiss Army knife and she's gonna like cut her hand as she saw the women do it and start like chanting. She doesn't know what she's saying, but she's trying to distract them.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and let's do a. You're trying to distract them. What kind of role do you think you want to make for this?
I have no clue.
Okay. So I will say go ahead and make a charm test then. We'll say TN5. No, fail. Okay. Cool. So yeah, they do not at all. They're not phased. But at about that point, you hear the woman who seemed to be leading this. And she says, I don't know what you all are doing or what you think you found, but there's nothing out here. We are just friends. We're here on vacation. What is going on? And she is going to make a charm test to try to get them to stop, and that's successful. So they do stop, most of them. They kind of lower their guns a little bit. Between the little kids and now this, they're a little unsure. But we will go ahead and move to the running phase. No one is running, but then we will move to the fighting phase. So Lydia, what you got for me?
Has it kind of died down a little bit?
It is not died down. Like it's still pretty intense. There are guns pointed at people, but it's not. It's more like a standoff at this point, if that makes sense.
Can I change or no? Do I have to fight somebody?
So let me rephrase that. It's not like everything has stopped. Like people are still doing weird in the process. By the end of this round, it might be in a standoff, but like things are some of the men are kind of like stopped and a little bit more cautious. Some of them are still moving. Like it's still pretty chaotic.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up a rock and throw it.
Okay, cool. At anyone in particular?
Is it the same dude that we've been Yep, going for him.
Okay, great. Go for it.
It's a success. Yep.
Perfect. So that find there. Stats. There it is. Okay, cool. So yeah, you pick up a rock and you chuck it, and it hits him right in the shoulder, and he's like, "Oh God!" And yeah, so that definitely hits him. And then you hear 2 shotguns, bang, bang, and you look behind you. One of the shots hits the cabin wall, and you're like, "Oh, thank God!" And then you look, and one of the other women. One of the women that's there that wasn't in the photo is on the ground and her shoulder is bleeding. And at that point, the other women look around and you see this anger well up. And Mrs. Winslow pulls a pistol out of her like handbag and pops off a couple shots, hits one of the men in like the thigh, and he kind of goes to the ground. And so these shots are firing back and forth, and there's a bunch of more that miss in the chaos, and whatever tension was there is gone. This is in a full-out brawl, and you hear bang, a slam from inside the house again. Now we're in the next round. So declaration phase. Who is going to act in the thinking phase? Who is going to act in the runaway phase? Who is going to act in the fighting phase? Okay. So thinking phase. What are we doing?
I think Ember looks at Lydia, I guess, and then back at the door. And grabs, I guess, Piper, because Amelia ran off to go jump on a car door or a car hood. So the only two nearby are Piper and Lydia. And I guess the three of us grab hands and run inside if Piper's willing to come along. Or open this. Now the door that's being slammed against is inside the house, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think we go inside, and Ember's intention is to destroy the daisy chain and open that door.
Same.
Okay. So you can destroy the daisy chain easy enough. The door is locked, and this is like an old cabin, so it's like a big metal, like not padlock, but like a big metal deadbolt that uses like one of those old skeleton keys. So you can either attempt to pick the lock if that's something that you think Ember could do, or you can look for the key.
I think she'd have no idea how to pick a lock.
Okay.
So
Cool. Make a skill test, TN6, to look for the key.
Nope, 2 5s. No look.
You look around and you do not see the key anywhere.
Can I attempt to pick the lock?
You sure can. TN6 skill test.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna get like a little Swiss Army knife, and she's gonna just try.
Oh yeah.
I got a 6.
Okay, cool. You get in there and it takes you a minute, but you twist and it clicks and then catches. And your blade breaks off in the lock. You got it partially open, but not all the way. But you definitely did something. Who else is acting in the thinking phase?
Me.
Okay.
Can I like pick up a heavy object and try and like finish opening the door? Like, I don't know if I'd bang on the handle or something, or like I don't
You
think
can try.
bar. Okay, yeah, I want to try.
Cool. Do a TN6 toughness test.
I got 1-6. Thank God. That would have been bad.
Cool. So you pick up, there's this like big heavy metal like cauldron almost that's sitting, and you pick it up and you slam it, and the door handle, the doorknob, blink, pops off. And about that time you hear one last slam, and you all move out of the way just in time as the door flings open, and out steps this giant wolf on all fours, snarling, and it has these big yellow eyes.
I think as soon as that happens, Piper's like, I knew it. I knew it. They think I'm stupid, but I'm not.
I need all three of you to make a TN6 skill test for me.
Fail.
Okay.
I passed.
You all back away, and the wolf pads out and snarls at you just as you hear another gunshot, and it looks and it bounds out the door. And as it does, Piper, you look in the room, and this room is wrecked, torn apart, scratches. It looks like this was like a large like pantry or something. There's no windows in here, but there it is, torn apart. It looks like there was maybe some chairs in here, completely torn apart. But what you see on the floor, covered in blood, is a little stuffed donkey, perfectly intact, if a little rough for wear, but bloody. And then we will move outside. No one else is acting in the thinking phase. But as we go back outside now, we see this large black wolf with, or this large brown wolf with black spots across its face, yellow eyes, growling, and it leaps at one of the men and just rips into it. And he is just blood everywhere. You see Mrs. Winslow pulls another shot and shoots at a guy as he ducks behind one of the doors. Amelia, what are you doing? You're on the hood of the car, gunshots flying past you.
Is there a man close to me?
There's two men. There's one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side.
Which one looks scarier?
The one on the driver's side. He's
Okay.
got a patch over one eye.
Oh, scary. I'm gonna attempt to jump onto the less scary looking man.
The less scary man? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Make a toughness test, TN6.
Would you consider this acrobatic?
Sure.
Oh, wait, I lost my dice. There. What was it?
Toughness, TN6.
Hold on. I'm gonna use my lucky charm. Boom! That did it for me.
Nice. Yeah, you
Thank you,
jump on
Bundy.
him and you grab him around his neck. And as you do, you kind of clock him in the chin and he takes 1 damage. He is going to retaliate. I need you to make a toughness test TN6 to defend yourself.
Oh no. Nah, that's 2 4s.
So you like jump on him and he has these brass knuckles and he reaches up and just punches you off and you go flying. You're gonna take 1 toughness damage
Oh shit. Okay.
as you fall to the ground.
These dudes aren't messing around.
Not the brass
Oh.
knuckles.
They are not. And at that point, you see this giant wolf, bigger than the rest of them, bigger than the other 1 or 2 that are around here, steps out and it's foaming and it goes into a full sprint and just completely knocks out one of the guys. He just gets got. And we will move into round 3. So who wants to act in the thinking phase? Okay, who wants to act in the runaway phase? Okay, and in the fighting phase. Cool, so thinking phase. Ember, what you doing?
What's the situation? If does it look like one side or the other is winning at this point?
There are casualties on both sides. One, the woman that got shot initially is not moving. One of the wolves is also kind of down and whimpering. and then one of the women who have not transformed, Mrs. Winslow, actually got hit in that last round, and she's down on the ground, still breathing. There are 4 or 5 of the men who are either completely dead or incapacitated. So it's about half out on each side. But you do have this giant wolf that is just ripping through people right now. And the men do seem to be a little bit on the defensive.
Okay. Is it possible for Ember to like climb up this front porch at all? Like, didn't you say it was a porch, or did I imagine that? I might have
Yeah, there's a porch. You want to like
Can
climb
she
up
get up
on the like on
on the
the
roof part?
like the awning? Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a skill test. TN4.
Okay. Yeah. Success.
Okay, cool. So you get up on top. What are you doing?
And she wants to just yell as loud as she can, because that's really the only thing Ember can do is scream and yell at people.
Yeah.
And she's gonna scream, "If you don't want the wolves to get you, you better run!" And she's
Cool.
gonna yell
Go
as
ahead and
fast
make
as
a
she
charm
can.
test. TN6.
Oh yeah, 2 6s. Matter of fact.
Cool. We will get to the results of that in a bit. Runaway phase. Amelia, you are running. So go ahead and make a TN6 toughness test.
Oh, fuck. Nar. That's
Okay.
a gr-
So you go to like run back into the house to hide, and you kind of trip going up the porch. And so you're on the porch, and you're kind of a shot comes like right past you and hits the wall next to you, and you kind of duck down, and you're hiding now behind this like little porch. There's like some chairs on the porch, and you're hiding behind that. Fighting phase. Go ahead.
I want to go for the main. Well, one, is it light out or is it dark?
It is getting to be dusk. So there's still some light, but it's dim. The sun is going down. We kind of just have that like last little bit of sundown.
So if I use like a strobe light on my flashlight, would it be effective? Yes or no?
You can try it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. With the flashlight that I bought, I'm gonna assume that there's a strobe section on it.
Sure.
So I want to strobe a light and like go towards the crowd.
Okay, you trying to blind someone?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Let's do a TN6 skill test then.
Okay. It's a fail. It didn't work.
Okay. You go out there, and these guys are taller than you by a lot. So you can't really get close enough to their eyes. And one of them, as you go up towards one, he like kicks his foot out and tries to kick you. Go ahead and make a defense test. Toughness TN6.
Oh, okay, I passed that one.
Okay, so he goes to kick you, but you manage to dodge it out of the way, so it doesn't hit you. As the shots start flying again, you see another wolf sort of jump at one. Ember, your shouting catches the attention of the lead guy, the one that you saw at school and in the park. And he has this big shotgun, and he turns it at you and cocks the shotgun. And just as he does that, the big wolf that you released lunges at him and takes him to the ground and is ripping, and blood starts spurting out. And just at that point, you hear another loud shotgun crack. And the big wolf takes a heavy breath and collapses. And for a moment, there's silence. And everything stops. And the men now are outnumbered. And their leader is gone. And they look to each other. And they all bolt. And as the men run off, some of the women start to follow. Some of the wolves start to follow and then stop. And the wolves that are out there transform back. You see Zelda stand up from that black wolf or the dark brown wolf. You see another wolf, smaller, pretty scrawny, gray, shakes out, and Sadie stands up. There's a big cut along her kind of jawline. And as everyone looks back, that big black wolf shrinks and transforms until you recognize Georgia Mayfield. And the women go to her, and she's taking these big, raspy, wet breaths. And she just says over and over and over again, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And her body goes limp. And the women cry, silent tears. And the leader of them stands. She walks over to the four of you. And she kneels down to be on eye level with you. Thank you for your help. Georgia was afflicted. We don't know what happened, but it wasn't her fault. She didn't mean, she never would have. She loved that girl. We need you to do one more thing for us. Please don't tell anyone. People can't know.
We won't tell. Right?
Ember looks astonished that you said that, but she keeps her mouth shut.
You have to keep our secret. It's the only way we will continue to survive. You saw what happened. More will come.
Who are those guys?
Thank you. And she looks back to Sadie, who has like a ripped piece of her shirt, and she's holding it on that cut. Take them home. We'll bury the dead. Thank you, sister. And Sadie will load you up in the car and drive you all home. And I imagine there's silence.
Amelia is weeping the whole time.
Ember is not a fan of silence, and she sort of, I don't want to say shoves, but like grabs Lydia and says, "How are you supposed to explain this? Look at us." And I mean, I assume we're all. I mean, I don't think anybody's bloody, but
I think the only person that actually got hurt was Amelia.
Yeah. I mean, Amelia, she's got a pretty big lump on her head from brass knuckles. And, I mean, we're all filthy. And what are we supposed to tell people? And she's looking at all of you guys.
We tried to teach you all how to ride a bike, right? Right? That's what happened. We tried to teach you to, and it didn't go very well, right?
Amelia just like nods.
Ember finally, after a long look, goes, right. Okay.
I think Piper, like, she kind of leans up to where Sadie is. She's like, hey, like, who were those dudes?
Says Sadie.
They were hunters. People who hate us. Who don't think we should be allowed to live. They call us monsters. And they hunt us. We'll have to move now. They know where we are. But the pack protects its own. Nothing will happen to you girls, I promise. You're under our protection. And she cries a little bit. Takes you all to your homes. And over the next few days, you all tend to your wounds, the physical and the emotional. You rest for the weekend. Amelia, Monday morning, you go to leave for school, and there's a little brown box in front of your door. And it has your name on it. And that symbol.
Okay, right there.
You open the box, and inside it, you see a little stuffed donkey, cleaned, still worn, the little bow tie added, and a note that just says, "Thank you."
I don't think I go to school on Monday.
There is also a anonymous cookie order that comes through for uh 5, 9, 10, 11, 13, 19 boxes of cookies. Ordered by the community garden. So you can add that to your cookie results. And with that, this mystery comes to a close. And you all earn some badges.
Oh.
So, Amelia, for getting injured during the scrap, you earn the bravery badge. Lydia, Because you earned the trust of a werewolf pack, you get the pack leader badge. Oh, the bravery badge is, I mean, not that these matter, but just for future reference, the bravery badge is whenever you suffer an injury, you can choose to suffer embarrassment or stress instead, so long as you aren't exhausted. The pack leader badge says once per cookie selling season, the troop can call upon a werewolf to help.
Okay.
Piper, because you pieced together the fact that these were werewolves, you earned the sleuthing badge, which is a +1 die to skill tests made to notice details and solve puzzles. And Ember, you will earn. I need to find the other badges. Where are they? You are going to earn the public speaking badge because you were able to use your speech skills to distract people, and that's +1 die to charm tests made related to persuasion.
Okay.
So those are your results. After that, the rest of the cookie selling season goes pretty calmly. Nothing crazy happens. And during the break, we rolled the cookie sales for all of the days that we that happened from now until the end. And so let's do a quick roundup of our total cookie sales. So total boxes, and then we can convert that into money and then subtract the money that we spent on items. So I think the easiest way to do this is probably to have everybody tell us how many boxes of cookies they sold individually, and then we can add them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So let's start with Lydia. How many boxes of cookies did Lydia sell?
41.
Okay. How many boxes did Piper sell? Total.
That is 31.
Okay. How many boxes did Amelia sell?
28.
And how many boxes did Ember sell?
84.
84. I thought it was more than that.
No, Josh, you're all together.
You're
total.
all together. Your total for the whole
Oh,
season.
all together. So
He said
okay, 84 was
84
just for the
boxes
last
3 weeks.
roll, but the break. So at 150, it was 155 plus 84. It's 239. 239.
Okay. And then I said 28 boxes from winning that challenge. So you all together sold 367 cookies or boxes, which is $1,835. You spent, was it $60 on the bike and then $15 on the flashlight?
That
So
sounds
you
right.
all sold.
I already subtracted from my.
You already
Right.
subtracted. Okay,
I
so
already
you
did
all
it.
sold $1,775 worth of cookies. So you all came in. Oh, where did I put my numbers?
If we didn't win, I'll cry right now.
You
Yeah,
did
no kid,
not
I will
win.
too.
No.
What?
My friend got
I hate this game.
killed and I didn't even get like a new, I don't know, anything.
You all came. Technically, you came in last place. That doesn't seem right. I don't know. The math
I think
seems
we
weird
did
on
it, the
this.
math bad.
Anyway, you did not win. However, there is a ceremony at the end of cookie selling season where they announce the winners of the cookie selling of the cookie sales. You all do not win. There's a troop of older girls from the town next door that comes in first, and then there's a few other troops that are ahead of you. However, they also give out an award for the most cookies sold by a single brave blossom. And the winner of that award, which is a scholarship, a free trip to Brave Blossom Camp this summer. And the winner is Ember. And they bring her up on stage in front of all of the Brave Blossoms in the area. And they bring out one of those big cardboard checks that just says, one free trip to Brave Blossom Camp. And they congratulate you and they hand you the microphone and they say, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to for your amazing cookie sales this season? And they hand you the microphone.
When she gets sort of to go up on stage, she sort of squeezes Piper and Amelia's hands, and just because she only has two hands, so and then she goes on up there, and she's of course got tears in her eyes, and she's so happy, and she goes, "This is so great. Thank you, everybody. But I think there's been a mistake." And she looks around for a second. She goes, "I wasn't the one who sold all of those. That was Lydia Lou." And she goes, "It's my best friend." And she sort of reaches out and she says, this belongs to you, Lydia. And she once she sort of beckons Lydia up to come and take this check.
She goes up there.
And she sort of hands you the check and the microphone and says, "Well, there you go. You're my friend."
She's gonna lean over and whisper in your ear and say, "Is it because I'm poor?"
And she looks at you and goes, "I didn't know you were poor."
She's gonna hug you like a real genuine hug.
And with that, the credits will roll. And that will bring us to the end of the Ties That Bind BadgeQuest. Thank you all so much for playing along with us and for joining us on this cookie selling season. Next week, we will be back to our normal schedule, which will hopefully from here on out be Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. And we will pick up with our regular season, which is going to be Monster Hearts. This is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Runs on the Powered by the... Wow, words. It is a TTRPG that uses the Apocalypse setting and rules. It is Monster Hearts 2 by Avery Adler, and we will be picking up there with our Session 0 next Monday at 7 p.m. And I believe, actually, I'm going to throw it to Josh Sims, who is going to be the MC for our Monster Hearts season. Because I believe we're going to be asking the audience to do maybe a little thing during that stream.
Sure. We're going to be going to a Session 0, which in Monster Hearts basically means we come up as a group with the setting, where it's going on. We come up with a group of NPCs, other students in class generally. And we do all this as a group. And we also discuss any, like hard lines that we shouldn't cross if any of us have any issues that shouldn't, that are off limits. We've all done this for quite some time, but it's still worth asking. And that will be pretty much the entire first session of our game. And yes, there will be times that if there are people, if chat would like to participate, we will, I'm sure, be looking for names, for relationships, for attitudes, for places in town that might be interesting locations. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what happens, because none of us now, I don't think it's giving too much away that the players, the other four of us, have already come up with the basic idea of who they are, the characters they're playing. But we don't know their relationships to each other yet. We don't know their relationships to the NPCs or even where they live in town or anything like that. And it should be a lot of fun to find out. And I can't wait. I'm
We
super
should say that
excited.
Monster Hearts 2 is a very different game than BadgeQuest. The
Oh,
tone
yes.
is a lot different, so just be aware of that. Monster Hearts 2 is a TTRPG that is in the genre of like teen paranormal romance. So think like a CW show. It's set in high school. All the characters are teenagers, and it is full of drama. And they are not only angsty, emotional teenagers, but they are all secretly monsters. And so the vibe is going to be a lot darker. We may hit on some sensitive topics, so just be aware of that. But we will talk more about that in our session 0 next week. So please join us for that. And with that, we will say good night to everyone.
And thank you, Drew, for running this whole thing so far. This was so much fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks to the audience and
Excellent.
to our wonderful players for making our first little foray into streaming super fun. We really appreciate you guys listening. We play these games anyway, but it's really cool to have other people like watching and giving feedback. So thank you all very much.
So if you're watching, get in the chat next time. Start typing stuff in.
Yes.
Hit that chat.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you all. Good night. See you next week.